Cobra Kai fans, welcome back to the channel. We have an official synopsis for part 3 of Cobra Kai season 6, and it's officially been listed on Netflix's media site. And we're going to analyze it and break it down and see what preview and glimpse it gives us for the final 5 episodes of season 6, which is being described as the finale event. And that is a very big title to call the last 5 episodes, which is not only going to be the end of the season, but the end of this series. So there's so much for them to do and so much to wrap up with characters, especially the OGs that we know in the show. The synopsis reads, the finale event comes in 2025. After a shocking result in the Sekai Taikai, Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai must reckon with their past whilst facing an uncertain future both on and off the mat. Almost 40 years after the events of the 1984 All Valley Karate Tournament, it's all been leading to this. It's definitely a good synopsis. It gives us something to think about before part 3 drops. And we know the ending of part 2 really made us think of how they're going to continue the Sekai Taikai, with Kwon's shocking death also causing more issues for how each individual character is going to react to this, as Hayden Schlossberg, one of the co-creators of Cobra Kai, confirmed. And that's going to be very personal to each character, and also how it's going to affect the team up with Kim and Chris with Cobra Kai, but also the uncertain futures for both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, both on and off the mat. Well, what could that be alluding to? We know Daniel and Johnny's future might be uncertain at this point because they need to go all in on Miyagi-Do winning, and that really does pave the way for what they do in the future. Although we know Daniel's karate swan song is supposed to be with this tournament. If they don't win with Miyagi-Do, then what does this mean for his legacy? Does he continue, or does he realize that this whole time it's been pointless to be part of this world tournament? He was trying to put a means to an end with Terry Silver's regime and all of his plans, which is probably the only reason why he's even wanting to have Miyagi-Do in this tournament. And the same with Johnny. They all want to make sure that they finish at the top and stop Kreese and Silver from even getting any chance of winning. The uncertain futures, we know that Daniel does appear in Karate Kid Legends, and he's even involved with helping Lee Fong, the new Karate Kid character, compete in this 5 boroughs tournament, which is going to be in New York City. I think with Daniel's future, even though he does call it quits with karate, and the film takes place 3 years after the events of Cobra Kai's finale, I do believe Daniel is calling quits for good, but until Mr. Han visits Daniel and finds him there, that's when things will change once again for Daniel. I do think this whole show, though, for Daniel has been more about him actually appreciating Johnny's Cobra Kai and what Johnny has done in order for Daniel to understand himself so that he can appreciate what Johnny brings to the table. And vice versa, as Johnny's embraced Miyagi-Do, he's learnt more about defense. He's embraced defense better than he ever has, and he's also become more of a centered character since embracing Miyagi-Do. And I feel like that's the same for Daniel. He has to embrace offense and really accept it. The lurking past of Mr. Miyagi, with that in part 3 being a massive mystery that they'll have to conclude, although I do think a spin-off is on the line with Miyagi's past. There will be some answers that Daniel will need to find, and that might push him more towards Johnny and really respect him more, because that might be the only thing that's holding him back from Mr. Miyagi's past, and especially if he showed no mercy. So I think the uncertain futures on both ends, on and off the mat, is basically alluding to that. I think Daniel and Johnny both really need to win this tournament, and they already understand how important it is for them to win, for the teens to actually win as well and have their futures set. There's so much on the line, and I definitely think no matter what happens with Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, they must reckon with their past, which definitely goes back to the start of the 1984 All Valley Tournament. It definitely feels full circle. So I do like this synopsis. It does give us a glimpse and a preview of what's to come with part 3. We did see a glimpse of the tournament with the part 3 inside the dojo video, but it's going to be interesting to see where that goes and how they bring the tournament back, because that's still such a mystery. I'll be covering that in a video, so stay tuned for that, because I feel like there's quite a few reasons why they would bring the tournament back despite what happened with Kwon. So what do you think of the synopsis? I will say I think next week we are getting a trailer, so stay tuned for that, because John Hurwitz said that next week we are getting something. Because in my last video I said about John Hurwitz confirming that we are getting something this month. It's not entirely sure if it's going to be that season 6 part 3 teaser, but the last stretch of these episodes is supposed to have the most marketing, so we will know very soon, and I'm sure next week we'll get something. So what do you think of the synopsis for part 3? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more here on Cobra Kai Nation, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.
Cobra Kai Nation.
If you thought blah 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 was blah blah blah,